right.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Truth About Him, the #1 podcast for men's mental health. I'm Anthony.
What's up, y'all? I'm Baron.
So we are back with another episode for everyone. All right.
That's right. That's right.
So I was asking you, how was your week, bro?
You know, it was good. It was a good week today. It was a good week this week thus far. We got a lot of stuff. We got work to do.
Yeah, we do.
You know, we got some stuff coming down the pike that we can't wait to be excited to share with you guys. But we got some. I've had a great week. How about you?
Yeah.
I know your week's been good.
Yeah, it's been good. You know, coming off our production meetings and knowing that we got a whole lot in store, a whole lot planned. And I'm just excited for what we have. You know, and I know we'll probably say this throughout the whole process of this journey, but we're just getting started. All right. So
at what point were we gonna stop? Or we're gonna not just get started?
That's what I'm saying.
I like it though. I like it. Just get started.
So, but yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for sharing the podcast, and let's hop into it. So this one's, I'm gonna enjoy this one.
Me too.
Right? I'm gonna enjoy this one.
Me too.
We're talking about dressing, talking about style, talking about how you look impacts your mental health.
Yes.
On the good side and the bad side.
And the bad side, exactly.
So it's about fashion, right? Because
fashion.
Part of our core four is faith, fitness, finance, and fortitude. Right? Yep. So
just falls into that fortitude area.
Fortitude. So how important is dressing, getting dressed up and looking good in your mind?
It's extremely important because it's how you feel about self.
Yeah.
You know, it's not for a woman. It's not for anybody outside of that. That's an additive.
Right.
You know, you have to take pride in yourself because you are a reflection of yourself. Yeah. But think of yourself as a business, a CEO. Wherever you go, you represent your business. Right. So why not look as best as you can everywhere you are? So, or at least as best as you can. You know, certain people, it's subjective, honestly, because what about your landscaper that's covered in grass and dirt all day, every day? Right. And on his day off, he just wants to lounge around in his shorts and t-shirt. Yeah. You know, when he goes to the store, he wants to wear his Crocs and things of that nature. But there's a way that you can, is your haircut? Are you groomed? Right. You know, are you professional looking when you're out? You know, so that you don't look homeless. Yeah. You don't look. People can't take you seriously if you look a certain way. Right. You know, if you go to a barber, you don't want your barber to have nappy, wild hair. Right. You know, if you're a female, if you're into getting your hair done, you don't want your stylist hair crazy because it's a reflection of their business. Mm-hmm. So it's very important. It's all about, self-care first. That's the first part of it, self-care. So yeah,
the self-care, self-care is important because I believe that if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you perform well, right? And I know on days that I don't feel too good, days that, I'm having a challenging mental health day. And if I pop up with, don't brush my hair, don't take care of myself, put on some sweats, put on a wrinkled shirt, that adds to the decline in my day. Right. Yeah. Versus if I fight through it, because fighting through it, it's amazing that you have to fight through to get dressed up very well. You got to fight through to get a haircut. But it's the same thing as you fighting through any mental health battle, right? So if I fight through and get dressed and make sure my hair is good, make sure that, I put on my do-rag to make sure my hair down. When I do that, and I go out and say that day I don't feel good, I can go out there and get a compliment on how I'm dressed, and then that instantly boosts my self-esteem, boosts my confidence, and takes me out of that mental health rut, right? So having, even smelling good, putting on some nice lotion, some nice cologne, even doing that, right? It helps you climb out of that rut.
And the more you do it, it becomes a habit. It becomes like second nature. Yeah. So then now it becomes something that you intuitively do every time you step out the house. Yeah. So now you're doing it subconsciously. So now you're ready for technically you're ready for the world.
Right.
Whatever happens, the world's going to hit you. But if you're automatically, hey, look, my confidence is up higher than it was because I feel I look good. I make sure I smell good. I make sure that, that I'm ready for the world, that I'm presentable to the world. Yeah. So when the world hits, it kind of like it just bounces right off of you, as opposed to if you were to just, you felt like shit, so you dress like shit. So now the world, you go outside and the world dumps more shit on you.
Right.
So what do you expect? Right. People treat you differently when they see. If you look like it, that's how they're gonna. If you look like shit, they're gonna treat you like shit.
Right. And that's true, right? And when you get dressed up or like dressed, and you look good, how do you move different throughout your day?
Man, if you let me, this is a perfect day for a guy. And here's a little tip for the ladies that are listening. Perfect day for a guy. Go get your hair cut. Mm-hmm. Go to the gym. Mm-hmm. Go get your car washed. Go get a massage. And then based on, your level of, go get you something to eat. And me personally, I like to go get a new pair of Air Maxes. I like Air Maxes, so I'll go get a new pair of Air Maxes when I can. It's just, it's a self-care type of thing. Yeah. And now you're ready you can deal with certain things, because in my mind, I've done this for myself. So I've armed myself to deal with certain things that I may not be ready to deal with negatively or whatever. But because I've done these things that I made myself feel better, now I'm a little bit more ready to go tackle certain things in the world that, the stresses of life, fatherhood and, being a husband and things of that nature. So it's just, you build yourself up so that the world doesn't tear you down.
Right. Right. And clothes can do that, huh?
But I'm a firm believer, and I believe the man makes the clothes. Yeah. I don't believe you have to go buy name brand everything to feel good about yourself. Right. Because then are you really feeling good about yourself, or are you feeding into what society says is hot? Yeah. These new Balenciaga shoes are what's hot right now. So go get them. Right. I don't like Balenciaga. And I don't like their shoes. So why would I go buy something based on spend all of that money on something that you don't like? The world likes it, but you don't like it. Right. So you have to know what's good for you, knowledge of self, know what the world may put a ton of things out there for you, but you don't have to choose a ton of things. Right. So, those things are play into effect when I just give me a good pair of jeans. I have Air Maxes I can just throw on. They're just the most comfortable shoe. This is not an Air Max commercial or anything, but
now it is.
Absolutely not. But, I make sure that,
So hold on, Nike, if you're listening, you're welcome to sponsor our show.
Just saying.
Come on.
Boy, holla at your boy. Let's get off Air Max. But a good haircut, even if you don't, let's say you have, dreads or an afro or something like that, where it's not, everybody doesn't have short hair that they grow their hair out. My brother's one of them. Yeah. But get it nice and lined up. Get it lined up. Yeah. Get lined up. Get cleaned up because you feel better about yourself. You feel good. And you provide just your self-discipline. Self-discipline, because if I put my do-rag on every day, I could choose not to because I'm tired. I don't want to, but it's a standard that I set for myself. So I have the discipline to put on. And this is just a fraction of discipline, but it's still a part of discipline.
You can get lazy doing that.
You can get lazy. I don't feel like
takes 10 seconds.
I don't want to do this. I'm tired. I don't want to wash my hair. I don't want to do that, but you're breeding and you're cultivating laziness. Yeah. And if you can eliminate it and recognize it at the very beginning stages, it won't grow into something bigger. Oh, I don't want to get my hair cut. Then that turns into, I don't want to go outside today. You don't go outside, you don't go to the gym. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to work out. I don't want to do this. And you turn into this, I don't want to. And then what you become, it's something that you look in the mirror and you be like, damn, how did I get this way?
Yeah. It's how you do anything, it's how you do everything. Right.
Exactly.
If you lack in, and I know you have those lounge dates, I have them too, sweatshirts, t-shirts, whatever. But for the most part, you representing your dress and how it represents how you feel, right? And there's nothing like going to the barbershop and getting that fresh cut,
man.
Right?
You might as well put a cape on your back when you leave.
Might as well. That's like instant. I'm like, okay, this is me.
Yep.
And then also, I mean, men should also have, and this is something that I need to step up my game on, is having a skincare routine, right? Taking care of your skin, because we're out there every day and we're getting beat up, by the sun, by the wind, by the dust. And it's something that I'm looking more into myself, because really soap and water, and I hear that's not good for you.
No.
But finding out what's the best skincare, because again, if you have clear skin and you see like, man, you can conquer your day just by the way you look.
Yeah.
Right.
That's part of it. Yeah.
You can conquer your day.
Yeah.
Right. And it's something that we got to take serious. And like you said, it's not even about going out there and buying name brand stuff. No. You can ball on the budget, right? You can go out there and buy some nice jeans, nice shirt from anywhere, and spend $60-$70 for a whole outfit. This 2024, so it costs more now, but you can nice pair of shoes, nice pair of jeans, nice shirt, and just go out there and conquer, right? What do you think most men just don't really care about how they look, or they start and they stop?
Start and stop. It could be that they gotten comfortable of where they are.
Yeah.
And I challenge men to look in the mirror a lot. I look in the mirror a lot, and just look at yourself, look and see how you're aging. Check it, look at the grays. When I got more grays now, then I'm like, man. And then I look at pictures 2-3 years ago, less gray, but look at yourself and take pride in who you're becoming, and cultivate and mold that person into, you don't want to stop caring about yourself, because what happens is when you stop caring about yourself, everybody else is going to care less about you, because he's fine. He's just withering away, or he's just, he's turning into something. And then what happens is, let's say it's your significant other and you've gotten comfortable with them.
Right.
And you've just gotten lazier. You've gotten less present in the relationship. Your appearance is lacking, and that's not what they're accustomed to. And what happens is their attention gets elsewhere. Now you're compounding, not saying that that's right, but at the same time, it's a human nature to look elsewhere, because you don't want to look at something that's displeasing. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we started off, we're doing it for self. We're not doing it for anybody else. But it's just a matter of making sure that we are arming ourselves as men to be prepared for, I always prepare for the worst, just in case it happens, I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
So we have to, me grooming myself, me making sure that I smell good, I'm groomed well, because A, I'm a reflection of my business. B, I want to be taken seriously wherever I go. So no matter, you're less likely to speak to someone about finances if they are in some ripped up jeans or ripped up sweats, and maybe the shoes are dirty, the hair is crazy. Are you gonna take financial tips from me? You're not, unless I have a proven background.
Right. All right.
But you won't know that just by looking at me.
Yeah.
Just by looking at my appearance, you have to do some in-depth work. But it's just a matter of making sure that you have that confidence in yourself.
Let's take a step back real quick. I was talking to a guy maybe a month ago, right? Okay. And we're talking about health, fitness, dressing. He's married, and he says, you know what? I've been married so long. My wife don't care about how I look. She don't care about my body and my dress. I'm like, that's a freaking lie. She may not tell you she don't care,
right? But
I promise you, she don't want to be seen with a guy who's out there. She loves you still,
right?
But dress raggedy, have a bare belly. They care. So I believe that you should do it for yourself, but also do it for your sex life too, right? Yeah. Because that increases, because lot of married guys or guys in this relationship for a long time, they have a challenge or they complain about the lack of sex that they're getting from their significant other. And you can change that, by one, taking care of your mental, figuring out what's the breakdown. And a part of that is how you are presenting yourself to your significant other. How do you look physically? How do you smell? Right. Are you wearing nice clothes, right? Are you working out? I think all of that plays a role into increasing the attraction that your partner has to you.
Just about to say, it's attraction. Yeah,
it's attraction. And a lot of guys don't start with dad bods, but they end up with dad bods, and then
those father figures,
right? And then they start dressing in bigger shirts and bigger clothes, trying to hide the bigness. But
you're just a key word. You're hiding.
You're hiding.
When
those clothes come off.
Yeah. When those clothes come off and you make sure those lights are off, just get it just a little bit darker,
Right.
a little bit darker.
Right.
But you got to be able to, take pride in yourself.
Right.
We all don't look the same when we looked in high school.
Yeah.
But we can maintain what we have.
Yeah.
We have to make sure that we are here for the longevity as long as we possibly can for ourselves, B, our kids.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we're here to experience life without them. Yeah. But question for you though is, what is, let's say I care about my grooming. I care about how I look. I care about the way I dress. I care about everything like that. What's the difference between, or what's the thin line between being so confident in that and being arrogant?
So, good question. So, for me, arrogance is, I, Anthony, think I'm better than you, Baron. That's arrogance. Mm-hmm. Confidence is really being proud of what you accomplished and has nothing to do with anybody else, right? I'm not better than you. Better than you is arrogance.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
And I believe arrogance comes from yourself, comes from what I believe. I believe I'm this. Confidence comes from other people speaking into your life, right? Example, went to the barbershop, got a cut, right? Get my cut, I hop off the chair, and that day I got dressed because I had a meeting, right? Get off the chair, the barber next to my barber said, man, that outfit you put together is amazing, right? That gave me so much confidence. It came from a man. I don't care who it comes from,
right?
But he took the time to stop and comment on, that sweater and those jeans, those boots, man, you put together, amazing. Mm-hmm. So that's confidence, right? Because that comes from other people versus you thinking that you the top dog, top shit based on your own.
So arrogance is more internal, than external.
Yeah, because arrogance is me, I thinking I'm better than you.
So how do you feel about those that may look at you and be like, oh, yeah, he's arrogant. You can just look at the way he's dressed. He thinks he's this, he thinks he's that.
Right. So that's called judgment, right? So you're judging me based on you knowing nothing about me, right? So example, and I think we talked about this before, is that my kids are into sports, right? Mm-hmm. Basketball, football, track, they're in sports. And every time I show a presence at their school, their friends say, dang, your dad, he's big. He looks like he's mean, right? Because at times I do have a resting bitch face, right? I do, right? But then when they get to know me, they say, oh, he's nice. He's a big teddy bear. Right. So I can understand, and these are kids, right?
Right.
So as an adult, if you're telling me that you're judging me based off what I'm wearing and not knowing me, that shows me that you have some insecurities that you need to really get checked out, right?
Right.
But I get that a lot,
Me too.
I'm a big guy, I have a big stature, but once they get to know me, like, wow, you are a really nice, soft teddy bear. I'm like, yes, I am. Stop judging me and come talk to me.
Right, come talk and get to know me.
Right, get to know me.
I can't help. Yeah, I used to tell people like that is an impression of me that you have based on your opinions.
Right.
That's a you problem. That's not a me problem. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to stop caring for myself, or I'm not going to dim my light for you,
right,
because of your insecurity.
Right.
Instead of, again, ego could play a part of it too. Right. If your skin's amazing. What are you doing? Water.
Right.
Hydrate yourself.
But who has the courage to say that to another man, though? Not many people. And that's not good.
Especially in these times now where we're so sensitive on certain things that we say. You know, we pause everything. We pause everything. So we kind of we did it to ourselves where we don't really make it easy for men to compliment other men. But at the same time, there's ways you can, there's ways we can compliment each other.
I think it's good though. I mean, I think it's good if you're walking down the street, you say, man, bro, you look good. Those are some nice shoes, man. I mean, your cut is nice.
Yeah,
I can do that.
I can do that. I can do that. Man, that's a good haircut. Okay, yeah, I can do some of that. And then again, it's also just where it's coming from. You can kind of tell where or how to take that compliment based on where it's coming from.
Yeah.
So
one thing I would not do is say, bro, you got a nice six pack. I would not do that. That's not gonna happen. Right?
That is not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
And like going back to that judgment, and just I was talking about me and like who I am, and I get a lot that I appear to be intimidating.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And that used to bother me. That used to actually dim my light because I used to kind of like step back in the crowd and like hide myself. Because I'm like, you know what? Why? This is what God gave me. Yep. Just because you think I'm intimidated, just because you're intimidated does not mean I'm intimidating. Right? Big difference. And a mentor told me a while back. All my life, I was told, like, you're a big guy. You're a big guy. That's the word, right? And without even talking, I met this guy maybe twice. He says, Anthony, you have big energy, all right? And that changed everything for me, all right? Because it's like, it's my energy, right? People look at the stature, it's good, I like it, but it's, because I don't know I'm big, right?
Right?
I have no idea.
Because we know people that are way taller than us. You put us on any team or basketball team, basketball, we're the shortest people on the team.
Right.
So we tend to feel like, we're not that. We're not as big as people think or say we are. We're average height.
We're above average height.
We are. I did the research. We're above average height. We think we're average. We think we're average height. But here's a reflective question. Answer it if you like. Do you think if we think we're
start with here's a reflective question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you this question. We think that we are average height, right? And people see us as intimidating or larger than we feel. Do you think that and you may have answered already, but I want you to maybe expound on it a little bit. Do we dim our light to reflect how people view us? Do we hide our gifts? Do we hide our talents because of fear of being bigger than people think we are?
I definitely have in the past. Because I can remember, say, like, if I'm going to church or if I'm going to an event or if I'm going to a movie, people have always told me I'm like that I was bigger. You're a big dude. So I would purposely sit in the back and I would tell myself, well, I just want the person behind me to be able to see. But in actuality, it's because I was feeling some insecurity about my size, because when someone says, oh, you're a big dude, I never took it as something that was positive, right? It was always like, well, you're a big dude, right? But that was me. Right. That's my own stuff, right? That was me not recognizing the gifts God gave me, right? That was me not recognizing, hey, you're a big dude, you're tall. You are in the top 2% or even less of men in this world, because not many men are over 6 foot tall. Right. Not many, right? And then learning that men over 6 foot are the most desirable men on the planet.
That's what I hear.
Right?
That's what I hear.
So me not knowing, even though that should have nothing to do with how I feel about myself, because that's external, but I had to learn that who I am is who I am. I have to embrace who I am, embrace my gifts, embrace my talents, and embrace how God made me, right? And not worry about the opinions of others. We all care about what people think, but at times we let it stop us. Yeah. Right. So yes, in the past I did let it dim, have me step back in the crowd and kind of like hide myself in the crowd. But now I just step forward and like, hey, this is me. You know, I'm big, black, and beautiful. All right. And that's who I am.
And I think that's where we are. That's what we're trying to get to as men in general. Mm-hmm. You know, we have these external things that hit us and we internalize them, but we don't necessarily work through them like you did and come out greater on the other side. I think if we go through that and do that process more, we'll be better off as men. A, I think our lifespan will be longer. B, and I think we'll be better communicators and fathers and spouses if we do that process. You know, we internalize things that hit us externally. But do we hold on to them? Do we process and work through them and become greater? That's the question that I think we have to ask ourselves, because if we don't,
you definitely have to process. I was reminded of a time. So I was talking to someone close to me about an experience that their brother had, right? Different race, right? And I'm talking to him. So basically, their brother got molested, right? As a teenager, like adult. Well, as an adult, I guess molested or raped, whatever you want to call it. We're talking through it, working through it, and they said, the person that raped him was a big black guy like you.
Oh wow!
Right? I'm like, that triggered me, right?
Wow.
Because so what's the standard? What's the image? Like, what are you trying to say? Even though it wasn't me,
right?
The picture they painted was a man like me, right? And even though I know it had nothing to do with me, it still triggered me, right? It still made me upset. So I had to process through that. Right? Is that, why did that make me upset? Why did that trigger me? Because it wasn't them, it was me, right? Because if that person would have called me a purple frog, so what?
Right.
I ain't a purple frog. But why did that trigger me? And I think it's really the stigma that people assign to black men, right? Mm-hmm. You know, we're big, we're angry, we're this, we're that, you know, we're beasts, right? And
we're aggressive,
we're aggressive. And I think that when it came from a different race, that that triggered me. Right. So I had to process through that.
Could you, since they said that the person who raped them was a person that looked like you, did the presence of you trigger them?
Ask me again. I'm understanding.
Your presence, could that have triggered the person that was molested?
Well, it wasn't that person. I was talking to their family member.
Their family member.
Right.
Right. So you never met that person?
Yes. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So that person was a huge part of my life, right? Every time I see him, you know, we talk, we're cool, we laugh, right. But it was just, and I think it was big for me, not just a stigma, but it came from somebody who I loved and was very, very close to me.
Close.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, how do you feel about black men? Because we're like this, right? Is it something I don't know? So again, you know, my triggers are my triggers, right? It has nothing to do with someone else. But you can say something, but where that trigger come from?
Right.
What's it saying about me and who I am? And I had to process through it and really know that, okay, this is about me, not what he or she said. It's about me. Why did that trigger you? Why did that make you upset?
That good old question.
What's there for you, right? Something is there for you because you didn't do the bad thing,
right?
But
it wasn't you at all.
But because they associated with you, just because you're associated with something, that is you, or you have to like respond to it or react to it, right? And it took a while, but I processed through it, and it was like, you know what? It was just because I was always called a big black guy in the past, you know, growing up. You know, you're big, you're a big black man. And when they said it brought back all that past trauma up to that point. So it wasn't about them. Right. It's about me. Right.
So you hearing that you big black man, were those negative connotations that were brought to you? You're a big black man. You're a big black man. Whoa, you're a big black man.
To me, it was.
Yeah.
To me, it was because I didn't know my gifts because
Right.
I was so ingrained in how society looked at a black man.
But looking back now, those comments, were they negative? If you look back now,
No.
you internalized it negatively.
Right. Yeah. It was my motto of the world back then. Right. Because our minds, I know we're talking about fashion and everything, but
stay with us.
Yeah. Our minds are story making machines, right? We create stories for everything, right?
Absolutely.
We make up stories. And the story I made up back then was like, wow, this is something negative. Right. But me looking back now, like, no, it wasn't negative. Not at all. I mean, it was a compliment because again, knowing that I'm in like the top 1-2% of men in this world, I'm not freaking average.
You're not average.
Right? I'm not. So knowing that like that was a freaking compliment because people pray and get surgery to be our height.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah. So now it's like a total gift. Like now it's like a compliment to me now.
Now, let's just say, because I want to make it clear for our viewers that we're not saying that we're fine with who we are now because the world is fine with us.
Right.
If the world was still the same way it was when we were there, we would still feel this way about ourselves now. Yeah. So it's an internal feeling that you feel about yourself, regardless of what the world says.
Yeah.
So I think that is an important key to point out because who cares? It's how we feel about ourselves, right?
Yeah, and thinking back, it's like, and like when I had those stigmas, when I believed what they said or took on that image of them, I would dress that way, right? I would dress that way. You know, I mean, I guess, you know, back then, big clothes were a thing, right?
Yeah,
but
in the 90s,
I would wear the shakas and the white beaters outside. And I still do, but now it's because I'm comfortable with it. You know, I know who I am. And now walking into 2024, it's totally changed my perspective on who I am and really helped me really to start treating myself better, you know, physically, mentally, spiritually, you know.
I mean, and then that just circles back to our topic of styling and grooming, confidence.
Yeah.
You know, that's confidence. Like I would have the same confidence in a pair of Nike Air Maxes. And then I would have the same confidence that if I had a pair of those on and a nice pair of jeans and a nice shirt, the same amount of confidence I would have in walking in a grocery store if I had on my Crocs, my sweats, and a t-shirt.
So why dress nice then?
Because I want to. I like to dress nice. I like to look nice. I like to smell good. It's me. It's what I like to do. My father played a huge part of it. You know, he was that part where you don't go outside unless you represent yourself well. My mom used to say, if you go out there, make sure you have clean underwear on. Because if something happens to you, and I'm like, what could happen to me where they're going to recognize me by my drawers.
Because she put your name in them for you.
She better not have. But it was a thing of you take pride in yourself, even down to your drawers.
Yeah.
You know, when you step out of this house, because you're a representation of me, you're a representation of your brother, you're a representation of yourself.
Right.
So you know, that stuck with me. So yes, it's become second nature. So like I make sure that it's like clockwork. Everything is like clockwork with me when it comes to grooming because I've been accustomed to that. That's all I know. Yeah. So it helps. But it helps with confidence when you're not feeling so confident. Yeah. You know, you may, okay, I can go out here and tackle the world, and I'm confident. I know I'm straight externally. Yeah. I'll make sure that it feeds into my internal as well. Yeah. So confidence is key, no matter what you wear. You shouldn't, like we said earlier, clothes don't make the man. Man's make the. You know, we dominate and we own anything that we're in. Right. And that's where the confidence, I can wear sweats and go to the grocery store and get some stuff or whatever. Just go in there and get the grocery store. Yeah. But my Crocs are clean. Yeah. My sweats is clean.
As long as you clean.
I'm not wrinkled.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I will iron just to go to the grocery store. Yeah. And that's just I don't want wrinkles.
Yeah. And I I think it's more about that versus like what you wear versus or how you wear it. Right. You can go out in some Louis sneakers, sound like Louis sneakers, or you can go out in some Crocs. I like some Crocs, and some sweats and a t-shirt, but as long as you clean.
As long as you clean.
All right, as long as you clean. But if you can go out in some name brand stuff and be dirty and wrinkled, right? You won't
spray cologne on funk.
Exactly. You won't feel good because that funk will seep through, or those wrinkles will be seen.
Yep.
And I want people to be able to feel me, to be able to feel my energy when I walk into the room, right? And if you have a certain appearance, people will remember that for a long time, right? And every time they have an encounter with you, they'll remember that and they'll be drawn to you, right? Because in the business world, in the media world, you want people to be drawn to you because that's how you make your money.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's how you get your views and your stature up, because people are drawn to you by how you look, what you say. It's just a whole personality behind it. And part of your personality is how you look and how you dress.
Exactly.
Right? That's part of it.
You're your own billboard.
You're your own billboard.
You're your own billboard.
Right.
So it's just important.
Make sure it's a decent night billboard.
Make sure it's a clean billboard, because people, let's just hypothetically say we're interviewing for someone to work with us. And we have two possible clients or two possible candidates. One is, dress kind of lackadaisical. Cool. Dress kind of lackadaisical. The other one is, has a suit on, clean. And it may just be something as far as, catering.
Yeah.
And who are we most likely going to take serious? Who are we really going to ask more questions? Yeah. Just on having talked to any of them, who are we going to look at? Like, that person might be the one we need right there. Right. Because that person that's dressed professionally, regardless of the title, regardless of what job you're going for, you wore a suit to interview for catering?
Yeah.
Let me talk to you for a second, because now there's a thought process behind that. I'm more interested in who you are, and because we could teach someone catering. Right. I'm interested in who you are, because you're representing us when we go out there. So we're not gonna get someone who's, dressed lazily. We're gonna call it lazily. Yeah. Lazily. We created a word. We're not gonna get anyone that looks like that, because that's not a reflection of us. That's not a reflection of our image. That's not a reflection of our brand that we want to put out there. Yeah. So dressing important is a confidence booster for yourself. Yeah. It shouldn't give you confidence. It should boost your confidence. There's a difference. Yeah. But it also is a reflection of who you are. So now we see, let me talk to you for a second. It generates conversation in a way.
It shows your mindset.
It shows your mindset, exactly. So that's the importance of grooming outside of self. You represent. How do you represent yourself? That's the question we have. How do you represent yourself? Are you too lazy to take care of yourself? Because if you're too lazy to take care of yourself, you're too lazy to take care of anybody else. Right. Because you could care less. If you care less about yourself, how you care less about your son's hair? Yeah. If you don't care about your hair, how you care about your son's hair? If you don't care if you shower every day, you ain't tripping if your son shower every day, because he's a reflection of you. Or your kids, they see what their daddy do. Yeah.
My son gets mad at me a lot.
Wait, for the record, how old is he again?
12.
12. So he's going through that preteen. Okay.
So he be in school, right? I'm like, I can't wait for you. So he be in school, and I get a cut. I come home, he gives me you got a haircut? What about me? Where's my haircut? I'm like, all right, son, I got you this weekend. But he gives me that most stank, and he knows, right? And I like that, because I think I set a standard for him.
Exactly.
Making sure that, you have to look good. And I got him a man bag, because he's always losing. Dad, you got deodorant, you got cologne, you got. Right. I'm like, bro, where's your stuff? I don't know where it is.
Right.
So I got him a bag, and he got his deodorant, his napkins, his toothpaste, his toothbrush, his cologne there, because I'm teaching him that you always have to be groomed. Your chapstick Last week, my boy had the worst chapped lips I've ever seen. I'm like, bro, don't smile, or you're gonna start bleeding. You're gonna bleed, right? He's like, but Dad, I don't have any chopsticks. So I go give him some chopstick, and he loses it, right? I'm like, look, we're gonna put everything in this bag, and this bag is gonna stay with you wherever you go, right? Because you have to, you're representing. You have to in a sense look good, because if you look good, you feel good. And I keep saying it because that's so important.
So important.
And if you walk around with chapped lips and no haircut, the haircut's on me, right? Because I gotta pay for it. But you get some chopstick in your pocket, right? Because now he's at the age where, girls are starting to like him, right?
Girls are coming.
He's in middle school. My daughter sees him constantly because he be texting girls like, "Who's that? Nobody."
Oh man.
So, but I'm like, okay, it's okay, but if that's where you are, make sure that you are. The new term is top tier, right?
Right.
Be top tier.
Be top tier.
Right. And if you be top tier, then that's just how you're going to walk out your life. Top tier. And I believe in that as kids all the way up to adults, because how you learn as a kid is how you're going to act as an adult. Right? He
exactly.
cleans his shoes off. This morning, he's in the car cleaning his shoes off. I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah, you're taking forever, but at least you're doing taking pride, right? He wants to wear nice jeans now, nice shirts. So I'm like, cool. I like that.
And and if we go deeper, he has to learn. He's learning time management. He knows if it takes me, some guys take a little less time than ladies, safe to say. But if we know it takes us 30 minutes to get dressed, then we allocate that time for that. We're not going to be someplace where, we have to be somewhere by 1 and we're going to start getting ready at 12:30.
Right.
We're not going to do that. So it teaches, again, discipline,
right, time
management.
Right.
So it's so many levels to learn when you're learning about self-care and grooming and stuff like that. It's deeper than what you see on the external. It's internally, we're teaching ourselves organization, we're teaching ourselves time management, we're teaching ourselves budgets. Right. Because if you're paying for a haircut, you got to put that in the budget. If it's important for you, you got to put that in the budget. Right. Or learn how to cut hair a little bit, and you cut your son's hair. I cut my son's hair because I knew I was going to the barbershop twice a month. Yeah. And, barber fees now is almost like down payments on cars. It's like, you got to make sure you have enough. You got to put that in the budget.
Yeah. For him and I, it's $85 for him and I.
See, just round up. That's
crazy.
$100.
$100.
That's $100.
If you every 2 weeks, that's like 2 bills. That's like, 2 bills a month, right?
2 bills a month.
Right.
So that either has to put in budget or we learn how to cut hair.
Right.
Those are the options that we have, but either way, it's going to get done. Either way, they're going to be grown. Either way, we're going to be top tier. Right. Teaching him cleaning his shoes off, that takes time.
Yeah.
That takes discipline. Yeah. That goes to, all right, before I put my shoes, then I put my shoes in boxes. Before I put them in the box, I wipe them down and then put them in the box and then put them back up. Yeah. But that's discipline. That's teaching discipline, and that's something that I learned from my dad. That's something that I taught and brought down to my son. So he does the same thing, even though he tries to wear a size 12. And so I can't wear his 13. I'm a 13. He's now a 12, but we used to share shoes when he used to wear 13s. Now he wears 12s. So I don't know. I think him personally, he don't want me in his shoes.
His foot shrunk, huh?
Yep. So I think he purposely did that. So it's cool though. I'm gonna cram my feet into his shoes one day.
So what's there for you, Barry? I'm just kidding.
It's self-grooming, man. It's very important. And we can be comfortable as Black men with our hair. The California Crown Act, made it important for us we don't have to necessarily fall into those typical business stereotypes of having our hair a certain way. Yeah. We can rock our afros, our cornrows, our dreads, our braids, but then we take pride in those too. They're nice and they're groomed, they're either put up or, however they wear them. I haven't had dreads ever. Don't plan on it.
I have.
Yeah? Oh, I got to see it. We're going to put a picture up for that.
Dress down here.
Whoa, yeah, we got to get that picture up for y'all. But yeah, it's, I'm glad that California, that Crown Act was put in place, because now we can be who we are in the business world as well. And without having to be stigmatized as.
For those who don't know, the Crown Act.
The Crown Act is it's an act where it's called I'm gonna make sure I get it right. It's the Crown Act. The Crown stands for Create a Respectful and Open Workplace for Natural Hair. So it basically allows those that have dreads, those that have braids or afros or cornrows to be able to be in the workplace without having to feel discriminated.
And this is a law.
This is California. Yeah,
okay.
This is an act. Yeah. Okay. It started in California. It spread throughout other states. So it started here in California, but it has since spread out to other states. So it's just a way to include every race. It's a way for you to feel professional no matter what your hair looks like. Because there was a lot of times where you could go places and say no dreads, or you couldn't wear your braids like this, or we don't do cornrows here, so they can't do that no longer. So it's a good thing it's just another way to express ourselves and yet still be professional in a professional setting without feeling, like we have to look a certain way to be in a certain place. We don't have to be that way anymore. So it's something that I'm glad that we actually can do, and then we can take pride in. So Yep. That California Crown Act.
Like it. So dress nice.
Dress nice.
Dress nice for
dress
yourself.
Nice for yourself. Yeah. And then everybody else is just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, and dressing nice is not suit and tie, tuxedo. It's just like, having it look well, right? It's not what you have, it's how you use what you have.
How you use what you have and take care of what you have. Because if you can't take care of the small part of it, how are you going to be able to take care of the larger part when you get it, Yeah. So,
Anything else for us?
No, I think we've wrapped up styling and grooming. I do want to make sure that the people know that our purpose again for being here is to be that lighthouse. Is to be that lighthouse for men's wellness and for those that love them. That's our sole purpose. I think that's what our desire is. Every time we sit down on this couch, we want to make sure that we are impactful.
Right.
And we do the best with what we have. We make sure that we are, we try to just be impactful in every stage of our lives. So I wanted to make sure we got that out today.
Yeah, perfect. Yep. Well, that was a mic drop, guys. So we are good. So thank you guys for watching the Truth About Him podcast, the #1 podcast for men's health. Please like, share, subscribe. The people out there need this message, so we appreciate you. Every second you watch these videos, we appreciate you. Thank you. See you soon. Peace.